Welcome to this week's MCC Moment. I'm sure that you'd all agree that we certainly are in changing times, and in some ways challenging times, and yet at the same time, times that can bring us a great deal of hope for a better future. As I've been spending some quiet time this week and reflecting, there's a couple of things I wanted to share with you that I felt were significant and important for us to think about at this time. The first one's this. In the Psalms, the word Selah is used often, and that's indicating a pause where we're instructed to stop and think about it. Stop and think about it. And in the context of the Psalms, it's saying stop and think about what you've just read. Stop and think about what you've just said. And I sense that in some ways this is a Selah time for us all, which is going to cause us to stop and think about a number of things. Stop and think about our lives. Stop and think about our priorities. And above all, to stop and think about where God is in our lives and perhaps where he should be in our lives. In many ways, God uses times and seasons like this to cause us to focus on him like never before, to cause us to depend upon him when we're at the end of our own strength and our own resources, to cause us to depend upon him when we don't have the answer, but he does have the answer. So I want to encourage you in this time that God is at work, and God is really drawing us to focus our eyes and our hearts on him, and to depend upon him and to look to him in every moment of our lives. No matter what our circumstances, no matter what we face, no matter what we see, we know the truth, that God is there. We know that he is not the author of the things that we're seeing. He's not the author of illness, but we know that Jesus has the answer. At the cross, he already paid the price for that. So we know that God has a plan, and God has a greater plan than anything that the enemy would try and raise up against us. The second thing is, as I reflect on the history of the church, and I love studying church history, I have spent some time studying church history, there's one thing that's really apparent, and it's this. When the church appears to be under pressure of one form or another, when there seem to be limitations, when there seem to be difficulties for the church, that is the time when the Holy Spirit has moved and the church has seen some of her finest hours and some of her greatest hours. The church and the message of the gospel has been spread remarkably during these times. And I really sense that in the times that we're in right now, where we have the capability of our media, we have the capability to remain in contact, the good news and the message of the gospel will be spread far and wide like never before. So I want to encourage you that we are living in times that there's no surprise to God, but God does have the answers. So we continue to pray for you. We continue to encourage you. We continue to pray that we will see an end to this pandemic, and we do know that God will have something on the other side. We continue to uphold our government, our national leaders, our state leaders. We continue to uphold the health sector and all of those who are working so hard in that sector. And I know we have some people in our own church who are working in that sector. So can we continue to pray for each other? Can we continue to stay in contact with each other? And above all, can we continue to love each other in a moment like never before? So God bless you all, and we will see you very soon, either this way or at some stage in the future, we will see you face to face. God bless you.